That's no storm. It's a monster. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another live stream, our annual Wednesday live streams. Glad you guys could join us. Hi, Carter Jones. Hi, Uniasha Dinosaur 101. Hello, Nick Valentine. Hello, Nick Jackson, my Jackie boy, my own Jackie boy. Anyway, yeah, so this week we're here to give you guys a bit of an update. Your mic sounds like ass. Well, I'm trying out the new Logitech mic. I'm hoping it works a little bit better. Anyway, yeah, so hi, hope you guys are doing well this week. Yeah, and I know, Liam, the title card, the thumbnail is meant to imply Godzilla, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But first, I want to give you guys a few updates about the channel and a few updates in terms of what's going on in terms of like the 100th episode and what the hell is happening. So, the title of this live stream implies that while the 100th episode started off as a mild storm, it's turned out to be a monster of a project. Like, probably a project that I've been putting more time and effort into because I want to make it right, and it's taking a lot longer than expected. Actually, it's taking so long that, unfortunately, guys, a bit of bad news, I will not be able to make the deadline for Friday night on the 100th episode because I do need more time. I apologize. I apologize for like the what do you call it, the inconvenience in a way. It's just because lately it's just been taking longer to put together because I'm still waiting for shots from other friends to help me out here. I'm still waiting for a few more voice actors to help pitch in. It's just taking a bit longer than expected. So that's unfortunately the bad news, that it won't be done for Friday. However, it is coming this May. I am making sure it comes out at some point in May. You will see the 100th episode. It will also be split into two parts. The good news is, as a backup episode, that's not the 100th episode, but it'll just do for now. Some good news, guys. There will be a brand new BigJackFilms review actually this Friday, but it's not the 100th episode. It will actually be essentially a editorial in a way. And I'll also just spill the beans right there. We're actually rebooting the Let's Talk series, but it's going to be incorporated into the review show because I feel like I can actually incorporate it in order to get more episodes out for you guys. So look forward to that, hopefully Friday. I'm still working on it. I think in terms of the video itself, let me just check because I'm editing it right now. I'm almost halfway done, so I should be probably working overtime tonight to get this thing finished. I'm just going to be editing clips and stuff, but it shouldn't take too long because, yeah, so expect a brand new Let's Talk on, hopefully on Friday. And hopefully the 100th episode will be done the following week, but again, no promises. I'm at the point with this, guys, where I was originally planning to have a consistent schedule with my reviews, with my videos, but that's turning out to be a bit more difficult than expected. So videos are just going to be done when they're done, or whenever I get time. But I do try to have a consistent schedule to have videos come out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, with a little bonus in between once in a while. So that's what's happening, and that's why it's taking a little longer than expected. And yeah, this 100th episode is a monster. It's not a storm. It's pretty fucking crazy how big this episode's going to be. I might put out a trailer. I don't know. I might put out a trailer. I don't know. I might even put out a teaser for this. I'm not too sure yet. I might put that out Thursday, tomorrow, or something. I might put out a little teaser for you guys for the next review. Anyway, so that's what's been happening. And yeah, just things have been just a little bit stressful. And okay, one person I want to give a major shout out to because she has actually helped me a lot in terms of kind of coping, getting this episode done, because I will admit this episode has given me a bit of stress, this 100th episode, because I do want to keep you guys I want to give you guys a really good product. It's just taking a lot longer, and I'm just meeting deadlines and everything. The person I want to give major thanks to in terms of support is Queen18. Queen18 actually just reached 9,000 subscribers. Actually, over 9,000 subscribers, and I've been chatting with her a lot, just telling her my situation, and she has been a huge help, a huge supporter, probably emotionally, if anything. to make sure I get this done. She's been a huge contributor to the website and to the channel. So I just want to give her a major shout out. Guys, link down below to her channel. Please go subscribe to her. She's been a marvelous help getting all this done for us. Not necessarily like actual like working on it, although we want her to work on it. But she's been very helpful in terms of like guidance and support and everything. So please, guys, go check out her channel. She's a wonderful YouTuber, great impersonator of Android 18, and she actually has been a huge help on the channel. So definitely go do that. So with that said, what's been happening? What else has been happening? I do have a new piece of fan mail. I will probably be doing a fan mail Fanatics hopefully Tuesday. So there's that. That's happening. And on top of that, some of the videos we put out this week. What did we put out this week? We put out a opening night for Avengers Endgame, although I didn't review it, but my buddy RiceDuke reviewed it. I will put a link in the description down below after this live stream to his channel. Please go check him out. He does these amazing Game of Thrones reviews. In fact, he was not too happy with this week's episode, even though I loved it. It was amazing. I really enjoyed the recent episode of Game of Thrones, but he hated it. He said this was the last Jedi of Game of Thrones, which I'm like, okay, those are some pretty strong words. But yeah, so he's doing all his reviews and stuff, but also because we didn't have time to see Endgame this weekend because tickets were practically sold out, we sent our buddy Eric to go see the movie, and he did a review for us, and a very positive review at that. So go check that out, our opening night for Avengers Endgame. Although I may go check it out, actually. I've heard really good things. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I'm not going to lie, it looks actually pretty kick-ass. So for me, the new Avengers movie, I'm definitely going to check out maybe because I just want to be there for this like big event. But yeah, definitely go check out RiceDuke stuff. So we did that. Monday, we put out a new King Kong behind the scenes episode. We're doing this little micro series of episodes that are about the pickups and reshoots we did over the summer of 2015 and 2016. And they're just a compilation of events and stuff from the episodes. I'm going to work on one this weekend, get another one out for Monday, and then hopefully you're going to see 2 more of those. And then we might take a break for a bit and just let things kind of slow down so we can have more time to work on episodes. But yeah, we're doing that currently, and that's what's happening essentially. Trying to think what else is happening. Oh, I did do a new reaction video on you guys by popular demand did ask for another reaction video on the George Carlin dubbing the Thomas the Tank Engine series. So we figured we might as well do the first one. So we did that. We might do a few more of those if you guys want. But of course, if you guys have any more reaction videos you'd like us to take a look at, let us know. Let us know if there's any other reaction videos if you would like to see some stuff. You just saw some yellow streaks of lightning outside. Oh no, it's Ghidorah. Oh God, it's King Ghidorah. He's come for you. Oh God, run, Smith. Run, Smith. But yeah, so there's that. That's what's been happening. Yeah, so we're doing that. And trying to think what else. Yeah, that's really about it. So that's pretty much what's happening. One thing I actually do want to ask, if anybody's interested, something I kind of thought of, if anybody's interested. I'm looking at especially JT is Reborn and a few others that I know, like more personal people that I know that have been contributing to the website. I would like to know if you guys would like to help contribute to the channel. And what I mean by that is if you guys want to do any reviews and stuff like that and want to put it on the channel and kind of give us a bit more of a bigger audience. And I'm talking about JT is Reborn, Nick Jackson, Ryan, if you guys at all want to help out on the channel, definitely shoot me a message and I'll get back to you, because I'm thinking like I do want to put out more content for you guys, but because I work so much on a lot of other stuff, I do need the stuff to pad out the week. So again, we are actually, and yeah, it's funny, we are looking for people to basically contribute to the channel and maybe on even the website. So definitely at some point, give me I'll let you guys know. There are a couple of people I've been kind of curious to maybe bring on, but again, they would have to post it on my channel and not on their channel. It's sort of like, in a way, what I am trying to do, especially with the BigJackFilms.com website and the channel in general, is basically create my own channel awesome. minus the douchebaggery, and shit. We do want to do something at that point. Is to do a essentially our own Channel Awesome, but less of the bullshit that went down on there. Actually, funny enough, okay, this is gonna sound really, I guess, sacrilegious, not sacrilegious, but more like just kind of like, why would you even do that? But I've kind of considered very lightly, but maybe I have considered maybe applying to Channel Awesome. Not necessarily as somebody who wants to get paid on the site, but to somebody who just wants to get their content out there to get more views and more subscribers. Because a lot of people have been telling me either, A, you need more subscribers. A lot of people have been telling me that. I'm like, I'm really surprised, like, that my subscriber count hasn't gotten much higher lately. But a lot of people have actually pointed out you should, like, years ago before all the shit went down, should apply for Channel Awesome. And I'm thinking about it. I mean, I kind of do and don't. So, but I know, like, right now, because everybody's pretty much pulled out, and that I know there's a lot of controversy. But again, I'm not picking sides on this thing. I am not picking sides because I know people often on the site that are good friends of mine. But there is a potential that maybe I could try to apply. I might put up a little letter on Facebook or something to them and get in contact with them and say, hey, if you guys need new talent, let me know. But it's a possibility. I don't know. I really don't know. But I've been thinking about it. I mean, and again, not necessarily for an actual job, but more just to get more a bit more of a higher view count and shit. Because I think there is an audience still there at the site that could help me out immensely. So there's that. What else is there? I'm not just the biggest fan of Game of Thrones because I didn't like what the that's the thing. So again, if you guys want to see some of the reviews of Game of Thrones, go check out RiceDuke's content. He's actually done some pretty good stuff. He's getting really good views right now, but I'm surprised his channel hasn't gotten many subscribers. It's Always Pink. Thank you so much. 279. Thank you so much. Always Pink. Hyped to hear myself on your 100th review. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. What was the role you were applying for? I think I can't remember off the top of my head. Hey Jack, have you ever watched Neon Genesis Evangelion? Yes. I have watched it, and I thought it was pretty decent, honestly. Although I haven't finished it up, but I'm waiting for it to come up on Netflix. I do definitely want to check those out. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's, again, I don't want to choose sides on this. So, like, again, Zola Universe, I'm not going to respond to that because I am not going to pick sides on this. I'm really not. I'm on both sides, essentially. And yes, I pulled the Trump both sides thing, and you know what? At least I'm not a douchebag, essentially. All right, let's see here. So we're going to start answering a couple questions. Excited for King of the Monsters? Absolutely. I'm hyped. I actually want to go see Avengers Endgame in IMAX just to see that 5-minute preview. And I've heard the music that McCleary is putting out. It looks spectacular. I'm excited. I want to see Godzilla. Oh, okay. It's Always Pink. It's Christopher. Okay, guys. Okay, Christopher. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. Dude, guys, go subscribe to Christopher. Really cool guy, really nice guy. I met him at Anime North. I think he actually appeared in one of my old videos, my 2014 vlog, I believe you were in, Chris. But he does this wonderful Vegeta voice and a wonderful Prince Vegeta voice. He's one of the best. The one that I think I will hire him from now on. Great talent. Really good cosplayer. Go check him out. Dude, no, I want to give you some subscribers. I do that all the time. Hold on, there was a couple of questions I wanted to point out. But yeah, I am looking forward to Godzilla. I am looking for this new Godzilla. I've heard already early reviews where it's like you want to set your expectations low. And I agree with that because I think people are way too overhyped over every movie now, and they end up being disappointed unless you're Marvel. So if you're going to a non-Marvel movie and you're hyped as hell, again, tone it back. Tone it back. I go into every movie completely dead. I don't care. Like that's why I kind of like The Last Jedi a little bit, was because I went in with no expectations, no fan fiction storyline that I wanted, because that's how the prequels ended up. I liked Last Jedi. So again, I'm going into Godzilla completely blank, completely not expecting a thing. And I'll only make my decision. Really, a movie's only bad, like, in terms of, like, as a sequel unless they don't explore the continuity of the last film. That's why I didn't like Fallen Kingdom. Because despite it being like a cool little fun dinosaur movie, it failed to do any world building and ignore all the continuity of the previous films. So for me, that's the thing. So like, unless it's got bad continuity, unless they like do it just like, I don't know. I'm going into Godzilla completely blank. Do you like the Eastwood Dollars trilogy? Absolutely. I fucking love those movies. Like, can we get movies like those again? Can we like bring back the spaghetti western? I love spaghetti westerns. I love the Dollars trilogy. I freaking love Django Unchained. I love the original Django movies. I would even consider Yeti Giant of the 20th Century a spaghetti western. But my favorite spaghetti western of all time is the 1975 Zorro, with starring Alain Delon and Stanley Baker. If you guys want to see probably the definitive Zorro movie, in my opinion, aside from The Mask of Zorro, go check out that. It's actually free on YouTube. I think it's because the rights are very, very mixed. Because think about it, it's like a 35-year-old movie or 40-year-old movie. Go check it out on YouTube. You can find the complete uncut 2-hour version in English. It's free on YouTube. You're in for a fun little cheesy little ride. Is the 1975 Zorro. Definitely check that out. Really good movie. Let's see here. Hey, Jack, have you watched The Shawshank Redemption? I've seen bits and pieces. I know of the iconic scene where the guy crawls through the toilet, the shit pipes, just to get out of prison, and he comes out like, but I haven't seen it all the way through. I know it's based on a Stephen King novel. I think I've seen Green Mile more, but I'm not big into there's only a few prison movies I enjoy. And I do like prison movies where they escape. Like, those are my favorites. Like, actually, one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of my favorite, probably my favorite World War II movie of all time, is The Great Escape, starring Steve McQueen, James Garner, Charles Bronson, Richard Attenborough, Donald Pleasance. That movie I've actually considered doing a review on, is The Great Escape, but I want to make it a big review, like make it like an actual kind of escape movie escape movie within an escape review, essentially. But I do love The Great Escape. So for me, it's like, that's probably my favorite prison escape movie, aside from like Chicken Run or really those are the only two escape movies I've ever seen. So for me, I haven't seen Shawshank all the way through. And I know actually Bradley did a review of Shawshank Redemption. I'll actually ask him if he wants to put that review up on this channel, because that might be a little extra review we can put on the side, maybe something for Monday. But Brad, if you're listening and you want that review up there, let me know. Hopefully Netflix doesn't pull a George Lucas on us. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Jordan? What do you think of a crossover between Godzilla and Evangelion? Yes, they need to do that. I mean, the guy who directed Shin Gojira did Neon Genesis Evangelion. So it's like, why haven't they done that yet? Actually, hell, you know what'd be great? The Evangelion guys, they create a new Evangelion, and it's Mechagodzilla. They use the technology of Evangelion to incorporate Mechagodzilla. I'd like to see that. Okay, 2 words, gangsters. Yeah, okay, the fucking Sonic. Okay, I'm just going to point this out. I'm just going to scroll down here because honestly, like, there's probably so many questions right now. I'm going to put this out right the fuck now to everybody who was really hoping this Sonic movie would be good. I fucking told you so! I told you! I told all of you that this movie's gonna suck. This movie's gonna be disappointing because Sonic has disappointed you guys since Sonic Mania. Okay, I know I keep saying Sonic 3 was the best game, last good game, but Sonic Mania I heard a lot of people like, but after Sonic Mania, y'all have been getting disappointment after disappointment. Sega doesn't give a fuck about you guys. I'm sorry, I told you guys, Sonic has sucked has not been good since Sonic Mania. I'm sorry. And you know what? That trailer looks goofy. Maybe Jim Carrey will be good because he'll at least be 90s funny. But man, I told you guys that Sonic movie was going to suck. I fucking called it. Actually, you know what? The Super Mario Brothers movie, Titanosaurus, is better than this piece of shit. I can already tell and that's the thing. Over the years, the Super Mario Brothers movie isn't that bad, guys. It really isn't that bad. Like, I mean, is it a terrible interpretation of the Mario games? Abso-goddamn-lutely. But as a big-budget Hollywood Mario movie, it actually does its job pretty well, especially as a 90s movie. Remember, this came out in 1993. Yeah, sure, they were trying to capitalize on the game success, but it also came out in the dino craze of '93, along with Jurassic Park and several others. And in that sense, I like it. I like its '90s cheesy value. So for me, I will say this: the Super Mario Brothers movie is not a bad film, but yeah, this Sonic movie looks like a piece of shit. Yeah, the Sonic fan film from 2013 starring Doug Walker was a better fucking film than this. I can already tell. Hell, you know what? You know what was a better Sonic movie? Felix the Cat the movie. Because I always found Sonic to be the Felix the Cat of video game characters. So the Felix the Cat movie with all this dimensional crap, if they had done that with Sonic, not this whole portal into the normal modern day Manhattan like every other franchise, but if they had done it where Sonic enters another dimension, and maybe there's another Dr. Robotnik, and they do the Felix the Cat plot, that would have been a better movie. But this looks fucking garbage. This is like Hop. It looks like Hop meets the Smurfs, and that's not a good thing, honestly. It looks like shit. It sounds like shit. It smells like shit. And did I also mention that hedgehogs actually eat their own feces? So Sonic will probably eat his own poo at one point and call it a chili dog. You're welcome. Fuck Sonic. Fuck the new Sonic movie. It looks like shit. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see here. Jack, did you hear that Godzilla King of the Monsters originally had a 3-hour cut? Yeah, I did. Actually, funny enough, I kind of knew this like about a year ago. There was about a 3-hour cut. Because I know a few people who have been working on the movies and have been sending me some insights on some of the early cuts and what's been happening in the film. So I do know a little bit of what's going to happen, but I can't really say anything out of non-disclosure. But yeah, I do know a few people who have been working on especially I know a few people who have been working on King of the Monsters and a few people who worked on Godzilla vs. Kong. And so far, I really like what they're doing. So I've been getting a bit of input on that. Actually, I keep saying this story, but when they were shooting Godzilla vs. Kong a few months ago, the casting director, who was a friend of my friend, who's a parent of one of my friends, said, "Why aren't you here? We would have put you directly on the set in an on-screen cameo." And the thing is, they were filming in Australia, but unfortunately, I can't afford to fly to Australia. So for me, I could have been in Godzilla vs. Kong, but I couldn't afford it. How much bullshit is... Can you guys imagine? Oh, man. Can y'all imagine going to see Godzilla vs. Kong next year, and then all of a sudden, I show up in a cameo? And like, I can just imagine what it is. Maybe like, I'm just with like a buddy who's filming me, and I'm like, "Hey guys," like I'm in the middle of like the streets or something when they're fighting, and I was just like, "Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome back to another review." Holy shit! And like, that would have been my cameo. People would have been like, "Who the fuck is this?" But some people would have been like, "Yo, I know that guy. That guy's awesome." Would have been a great promotion, but man, there is a hindsight. Yes, I do wish I could have flown to Australia and been a part of that film, but man, I just can't afford that shit. Yeah, I would have been like, "Hi, oh my god, this shit's real. Smith, look at this shit. Godzilla and Kong are fighting off screen. We cannot see what they're doing, but look at me, I'm a fucking YouTuber." That would have been the whole movie. Like, imagine, like, that's the thing. Like, in the Godzilla universe, like, that would mean my show is canon. That would mean my show would exist in the Monsterverse. Oh, the possibilities just going through my hair. Oh my god, that would have been funny. Oh man. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Like, that's the thing, Eric. I wish I really did do that. Oh, okay. Jordan's got a good question. When are we going to see BigJackFilms the movie? Okay, this is interesting because it's been in the back of my head. I wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. Essentially, how to do a BigJackFilms movie. It's kind of weird because, like, I think it's a really weird subject. I don't even know if I could do something like that. The thing is, if I did that, it would either be called BigJackFilms the movie or BigJackFilms the motion picture. I don't know which. But you bring it up. You think I'd be capable of doing a feature film about my character? I don't know. I don't know if I could do a movie. I really don't know if I could do a BigJackFilms movie. I mean, if anything, it would be like a cost. I think for me, a BigJackFilms movie would probably be about 2 hours. 1 hour would be story, and another hour would be this giant battle. That's all I can say if I did a Big Jack Films movie, is that would be an hour of story and an hour of just a big giant battle. I just don't know what I would do with it. But again, that maybe sometime down the road, that like if I get popular enough, if I start getting like, I'll put it like this: it's probably impossible. Let's say I reach 1 million subscribers, then I'll consider a Big Jack Films movie, because at least then I'll have enough ad revenue to basically cover the cost of the budget. I just don't know what the script would be, what the story would be. But like, can you imagine that? Like, can you honestly imagine that? Like, okay, you know what? Let's put it in the comments. What would you guys like to see for a Big Jack Films movie? What would you like to see for Big Jack Films, the movie / the motion picture? Let me know in the chat. You come up with a story. That would be interesting. Say, Jack, if you had made a Godzilla film, how would you have handled it? Okay, first of all, the first thing I would do is actually recycle an old Godzilla design. I would use the Stan Winston Godzilla design. That would be my first objective, is to use the Stan Winston Godzilla design for my film. Second, I would go back to basics, and I would make it on par with something like Gojira or Godzilla 85 or Return of Godzilla, where we kind of do 2014, but we do 2014 right, where, you have Bryan Cranston, should have stayed in the film, and you keep Godzilla as a deadly force of destruction. You see him destroy shit. He's not fighting another monster. It's a straight up remake of the original Godzilla. And you make it the same tragic, dark allegory for nuclear destruction. That's what I would do. And maybe change it up a bit, maybe update it for modern audiences, maybe like Godzilla. You could technically do the Hiroshima-Nagasaki thing, but just say he evolved over like 60 years or something. But I think I would also maybe do, I kind of would do what Shin Godzilla did, where he was created from the Fukushima power plant. Or maybe he's created from nuclear missiles from Russia and the US or something. Like something on that level I would do for Godzilla. But I would make it, like, we'd see people dying. Like, not to be insensitive, but I would basically say, let's do 9/11, but with Godzilla, is how I can pretty much describe my idea for Godzilla. Is like, make it 9/11. Make it about, like, obviously people getting away, show shots of Godzilla destroying shit, but focus it on the people who are trying to save lives and stuff like that. You see casualties. You see people dying from this monster. That's what I would do, honestly. That's what I would do with a Godzilla redo, is just do a complete remake of the original, keep the Stan Winston design, and make it a full-on tragedy of a film, honestly. Okay, so Joseph asks, which trilogy do you like better, Back to the Future or Star Wars? I like Star Wars better, but it's funny you bring up the Back to the Future trilogy, Joseph. By the way, guys, if you guys want to see me tackle the Back to the Future trilogy, go check out my top 10 timeless Back to the Future moments. But if I thought about doing a Let's Talk or an editorial about Back to the Future, but I would want to discuss the other Back to the Future trilogy. And you're probably thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? They never made any more. They kind of did, and it was kind of trilogy. They did kind of do a second Back to the Future trilogy. And what I mean by that is that I'm talking about essentially the game, the animated series, and the ride. Those are essentially Back to the Futures 4, 5, and 6. Back to the Future 4, the game, Back to the Future 5, the animated series, and Back to the Future 6, the ride. That's how I see it in the chronological order, essentially, is that the game, the Telltale game, came first as part 4. Part 5 was the animated series, and then part 6 is the ride. And the reason I say the ride is part 6 is because that's when Doc was able to afford enough to build the Institute of Future Technology. He was able to build the 8th Password DeLorean. He was able to incorporate his technology into a business, and that's where the 50s Biff shows up. So for me, that's the second Back to the Future trilogy. That's the sequel trilogy to the original trilogy, in my opinion. But I thought about doing a Let's Talk on that just to imply that, yes, there is more Back to the Future content for people, and those are essentially 4, 5, and 6. It's hard to tell where the comics would fit into the series, but maybe they're just kind of like in between like sequels, kind of like these little spin-off series. It's not too sure where the comics are in, essentially. And yeah, they introduced Bill Nye the Science Guy too, Smith. Good call. Yeah, I do bring that up in my review. Hey, I did comment 3 times, and I want to be that guy, but I answered one of the questions. Okay. Will you do a video of films that Stan Winston done? So basically, other films that he's done aside from Jurassic Park. Yeah, like there's a couple movies I do want to cover. I definitely want to cover the Terminator movies. I think those are like next to Jurassic Park. I think the Terminator movies are probably Stan Winston's best work. I mean, I know he did Batman Returns, he did Edward Scissorhands. Those two I definitely want to do at some point. Maybe sometime down the road, because Edward Scissorhands I do find to be Tim Burton's magnum opus, his best film. But yeah, it's really kind of it's kind of hard to choose. But yeah, I do want to cover more Stan Winston. Pumpkinhead, believe it or not, I've never seen, but I've heard good things about. Jared says, "Who is your favorite Evangelion character?" Okay, who's the guy who does the who has like the camera, who has like the video camera and is like all in the military stuff? Because when I watched the show, and I was watching it, I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this guy. Holy shit, that's me! That's me as an anime character. Yeah, that character. I can't remember what his name is. Josh would probably know who the character's name is. But yeah, Evangelion. Again, I've only seen a few episodes all the way through, but I'm not too sure if there's really anything like in terms of what I would do. Actually, I did cosplay that guy. Believe it or not, I did cosplay that guy. Part 2 of my Titanic project is underway. Okay, yeah, cool, awesome. Thoughts on the reaction to the Cujo trailer? Wait, are they doing a remake? They didn't do a remake, did they? Or the original? I've seen the original trailer. It's okay. Hold on a sec. Hang on, guys. We actually got some news here. Some interesting film news, believe it or not. I'm just getting this off of my phone. Was just reported to me. Rumor: Indiana Jones 5 now being written by This Is Us creator. Learn plot details of John Kasdan's abandoned draft. So apparently they wrote a script and they abandoned it, and now they're getting the guy who wrote This Is Us to write the next Indiana Jones movie. So that's interesting. Yeah, I just got that in terms of what the hell's happening. Holy shit, that's a lot of mess. Oh my god! Jesus, they're playing a lot of fucking things. Holy shit. Anyway, so yeah, that's interesting. They got a writer for Indy 5. So just to break there. Jack Jaguar film is being confirmed. Okay, seriously, are they actually? Is it Legendary or Toho? If it's Legendary, then I know exactly how it's going to go down. If it is Legendary, here's what they should do. If it's Legendary doing a Jet Jaguar movie, takes off the mask, it's Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston was they took his body and made him like the $6 million man, but it's Jet Jaguar. I mean, like, I don't care how stupid that would be. Anguirus solo movie, that would be interesting. That would be interesting if they did a solo Anguirus movie, or actually solo movies in general. Like, I'd say Anguirus could probably show up in like a solo Mothra movie or a solo Rodan movie. That I would like to see, maybe. Let's see here. Have you seen Rebel Without a Cause starring James Dean? I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've seen the ending, but not all of it. All right, see you later, Carter. What dinosaurs and creatures would you like to see in a future King Kong film? I would like to see more, maybe the creature, I want to see an adaptation of the 96 draft. That's what I've always wanted, because I think there's enough dinosaurs to be really kind of cool in that one. I want to see more Varen, Baragon, and Manda. They need more love. Varen, maybe. I always thought Varen looked was kind of a stupid monster. Like, he just fly. He's like literally like Spider-Man if he was a kaiju. But I would agree on Baragon and Manda. They could be good in the MonsterVerse. Have you heard of the World of Godzilla? No. What the hell is that? Is that like what the cinematic universe of Toho's doing? Then go do the 1996 remake and Lego. Go nuts. Okay. Something I've kind of gotten nostalgic on lately is, it's funny enough, it's almost been 10 years since I did a Lego film, believe it or not. It's been almost 10 years. And I've been watching a lot of Forest Fire 101's videos, going back and getting kind of nostalgic about those, because I used to watch those a lot in high school. But also, I've been watching a lot of his live streams. He does these live streams where he, does his animation. And you just see the process of what he goes through. Now, stop motion takes a lot of time, but I have considered going back to it. I just don't know how. And one of the things that I've thought about is doing a adaptation of the '96 draft, but in Lego. But the thing is, guys, is that I would probably have to pull out an Indiegogo campaign to buy certain sets to use in the production. So I'd have to rely on donations and stuff to buy sets in order to get this project going. But there's a part of me who wants to go back and do Lego videos again because I've really missed out on the process of doing that stuff. So maybe someday I would do that. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on the Kong Skull Island Blood of Kong? Is that the comic, Gavin? I've only read like one issue, and it's okay. Most of the comics are kind of not off my alley, but yeah, something like that. Back to the Future animated sequel by Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Robert Zemeckis. You know, it's funny. Maybe not necessarily an animated film. Well, maybe. You know, like if you did it kind of like how the Return of the Cape Crusaders movies were done, where you get Michael and Christopher Lloyd to come back and all the cast. I can kind of see that. But I would much rather them do sort of a soft reboot where they do part 4, 5, and 6, but it's an entirely new cast. And what I mean by that is like not descendants of the McFlys, not any of that. You start a new set of characters. Maybe do like kind of like where say like these kids nowadays, the kids of now, you know, maybe like a young kid, not even like a teenager, maybe like a kid who's like 10 to 13 years old. You know, average kid does his thing, and maybe he comes across some sort of abandoned house, maybe Doc's house, like an abandoned mansion, and comes across this dusted, abandoned DeLorean time machine. And he starts it up, and, you know, he starts time traveling. The only character I really see coming back is Christopher Lloyd as Doc. Maybe just in a slight smaller role, but maybe like there's a new Doc. There's a new professor, and he's not even called the Doc. He's called the Professor. And it's weird because I would probably cast Jim Carrey in a role like that. Believe it or not, I think Jim Carrey would be actually pretty cool as kind of like the new Doc Brown, but he's not Doc Brown. He's a new guy. You know, maybe he was an apprentice to Doc Brown. Maybe you bring up the continuity of the other stuff. Maybe he's like, you know, he was an apprentice to Doc at the Institute of Technology. The institute shut down in 2007. And like do that and have it, yeah, like do that with a Back to the Future series. And maybe the government gets involved. Maybe the government discovers, holy shit, this guy invented time travel. Let's use it to weaponize and change the past so we can have a better future. Like I remember seeing a trailer for fake trailer for Part 4 where they had it where the government was aware of the time travel, and they make a statement saying, if time travel is possible, we have every right as a nation to use it to right the wrongs of the past. And they have it where like apparently they send Marty back to go back and kill Hitler, basically, and then that changes the past drastically, or changes the future drastically. So it's like, maybe have the fourth film be like a time travel movie, do a soft reboot of the first film, but you know, you have new characters, new story, you have Doc in a slight cameo, but then do 5 and 6 have the, you know, no, you can't really get Marty Joseph because unfortunately Michael J. Fox is not in the best condition right now. But yeah, like have an apprentice to Doc Brown who's like, you know, now realizing, oh my God, because maybe have it where like the apprentice didn't believe Doc's theories of time travel and didn't believe in the whole time machine. So when he discovers there is a time machine, he's like, oh my God, he wasn't lying. I was wrong this whole time. So yeah, do something like that. Hell, maybe have like the new Doc be one of Doc's sons, being like Jules or Vern. You know, as you know, adults now. They're adult characters now. You know, have them. And then maybe they go see their father. Maybe they have a fallout with their father themselves. You know, have that storyline. You know, maybe have them reunite at the end. Maybe Doc helps them in the next one. But yeah, do it where like in Part 5 and 6, the government discovers the time machine and want to weaponize it to basically go back in time and stop certain events from happening. But the whole time Doc's like, you can't change the past. You're going to affect the future drastically. That's what I would do, essentially, is... And yeah, and don't call it Back to the Future. Don't call it Back to the Future Part 4. You don't do a reboot title. Just call it Part 4. That's what I would do. Time travel has affected Marty's nervous systems, and thus the character has... Maybe do that. Or, you know what, you could do what they did in Smallville, where they had Christopher Reeve show up as this other character because he was paralyzed, and, you know, he was kind of a passing the torch. Do that where, like, maybe Marty's in more of a wheelchair. Maybe he's just kind of paralyzed or something happened. Yeah, maybe have it where time travel did affect these characters, you know? like where time travel isn't just a thing where you can just go back. As maybe like the energy in the flux capacitor causes you to age rapidly or have different effects on your body. Like remember when Marty in the first film, like as he's seeing something happen between his parents at the ball, and he starts like getting really weak and he starts to erase from existence. Have something like that have it where that affected his body, that affected his life force or something. Where, yeah, basically he's just kind of sitting there, just like, you know, he's in a wheelchair now and he can't move as much, and you know that's why he can't be a part of this adventure. Maybe have a scene where him and Doc, you know, like where, you know, Doc looks up at Marty looks up at Doc, like, Doc, I wish I could go with you. You know, we used to have some great adventures, and Doc's just like, yeah, we did, Marty. But now it's time to pass the torch to the next generation. You know, get that emotion in there. I think that would be great to have like a new set of movies. But again, don't remake it. Don't reboot it. Do 4, 5, and 6. That's what I would do. Holy shit, we've been going on this rant for a while. The time travel. Yeah, okay. What do you think would win in a fight, Rexy or King Kong? I'd say they just team up and kick ass. Like, that's my answer, Jared. If Marvel made monster movies, well, technically Marvel did have the rights to Godzilla for a while. So wouldn't it be cool if like they teamed up with Warner Brothers and said, can we get Godzilla in the MCU? That would be cool. Or maybe there's like a because here's the thing. From what I heard, minor spoilers, guys, from what I heard, ENDGAME does talk about the potential theory of multiverse theories. So again, you have multiverse now. You can have X-Men. You can have Deadpool. You can have Godzilla for all I care, is what I would do. What if Michael Keaton was in the Dark Knight Returns style movie? Yes. Do that. Get Tim Burton back. Make another Batman. Make a last Batman movie. Godzilla did work with Marvel before. Yes, he did. I just mentioned that. You get a love story for Kong and Godzilla and Rexy as a King Kong reference. What? Okay. I don't know. Who would you cast to play Carl Denham if you did a King Kong film, had a bigger budget? Ooh, that's tough. If I'm going to do the 96 draft, let me think about that for a sec. I would probably cast somebody like, maybe Jack Black now, but maybe not. I would probably go with somebody like, you got to pick somebody really scummy, like a real scumbag. I would choose maybe the guy who played Krennic in Rogue One, and the guy who played the head of the Oasis in Ready Player One. That guy. I like that guy. He would be a good Carl Denham, in my opinion. I think he'd be really good. I mean, Robert De Niro you can't do now because he's way too old for that. Like, 90s, yes. Now, no. Drew Carey as Carl Denham. Oh my God. No. Hope they make Lethal Weapon 5. That's a possibility. They could do one more. They kind of rebooted it already. Ben Mendelsohn, yeah, he would be a good Carl Denham. What are your thoughts on Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah in the new Godzilla movie? I like them. I do like how they look. I am excited to see how they're portrayed. I think it's going to be a fun ride. Well, while we're on a bit of a subject, I just wanted to point out, I did get some fan mail today, so I will be doing a fan mail fanatic sometime down the road, possibly next week. However, if you guys want to send me fan mail, you can send it to this address, BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G100. We'd love to receive letters. We'd love to receive donations. We love to receive, gifts and stuff. If you guys would like to send us stuff, link below to our address, and you can send us whatever you want, essentially. Let's see. How's the documentary on your King Kong fan going? Believe it or not, man, I have not worked on it in a while. I haven't even edited yet. If anything, at the moment, I'm just collecting interviews. I'm collecting interviews with the cast and crew and everybody involved, and then we're hoping to get the documentary out by December. So I'm not too sure yet, but it's gonna be a very simple documentary. We were originally gonna go for more of like an appendices from like Lord of the Rings. Excuse me. Woo. But instead, I think I'm gonna do more of a documentary in the style of The Making of Suburban Nights, where it's me narrating what went on during the production with little hints of interviews in between with the cast and crew. It's probably what I'm going to do with that documentary. Let's see here. What monster? Oh, shit. Comments are going by quick. Holy shit. Hey Jack, will you react to more Thomas dubbed by George Carlin? I actually did, Bryce. If you want to go check out one of our recent reaction videos, we put one out, I believe, yesterday. We did a new George Carlin reaction video. What if we got a fourth Mummy movie where Brendan Fraser character passes the torch from the sun? I would just want to see Brendan Fraser again. And actually, you know what they should do? That'd be great. If they made a fourth Mummy movie, and that was the start of the Dark Universe. They said, we're redoing it again, but this time, we're making it part of the new Mummy movies. That I would see. That I would see. Like, where it's like, the old Mummy movies from 99 onwards, like, if they made another sequel, that's what they should do. I would like to see that. You get Raquel Weisz back, you get the guy who played Adith Bay back, you get Brendan Fraser back. Hell, you get Imhotep back. Find a way to bring him back, and then make him the official Mummy. And then, like, all the other movies, like, and then you do your Dracula, Frankenstein, all that, based on that time frame. That I would like to see, if they do anything with the next set of Mummy movies. Honestly. Let's see. What's your thoughts on the shark attacks of 1916 and the films of 12 Days of Terror? Are those movies or are those events? I don't know what that is in Inuyasha Dinosaur 101. And in case you're wondering if I would do any more shark movies, there's a possibility. There's one on my list that I do want to discuss that was a ripoff of Jaws. It came out in the 90s. I'm not going to say what it is, but that's a possibility. And I also do want to maybe actually talk about the Jaws ride at some point. That's a review I definitely want to do. How about they redo the Wolfman? Easy, Smith. You do your Brendan Fraser's fourth Mummy movie, and then you do the Wolfman 2 with Benicio del Toro. Save your money and just do a sequel to that Wolfman. There you go. So have the 99 remake and the 99 Mummy and the 2010 Wolfman be your start of your MonsterVerse. It'll save you money. Maybe re-release the original movies, but then just do your own thing, essentially. I'm recovering from the Sonic trailer. We all are, buddy. We all are. Know what it is? Here's what I'll say to Sega. We're not laughing with you, Sega. We're laughing at you. What you put out was total trash, and we're just mocking the shit out of it, how stupid it is. Well, I don't know. Maybe have it where he comes back. Have it where he comes back, Smith. That's what I would do. What if Marvel made a movie about Stan Lee and his life? That I'd actually like to see. Like, maybe they do it where it's like, they do a Stan Lee movie, but it turns out he was he's the creator. That would be interesting, where they kind of make it where, yes, he created the cinematic universe, where he, was the overseer, essentially. He's the god of this world. That I would like to see. Regret. What will your next episode of Food Corner going to be uploaded? You know, I've actually put it on hold for a while. Is there an audience to see more Food Corner? I'm just worried. Would you guys like to see more of those? Because I don't mind doing them. They're pretty easy to put together. If you guys want to see more Food Corner, I'll definitely consider it. I will definitely do more of those. So is Carl Dunham. Oh my god. Oh, hi, Anne. Oh, hi. I did not hit Anne. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Jack. Oh, hey, Carl. What's up? Nothing. I'm just having troubles with Anne. She can't act. Oh, like what you can? Watch your mouth, Jack. Oh, man. I know, Tommy Wiseau's doing a shark movie. Man, if he did a monster movie, like a Kong movie or some sort of monster movie in general, I would watch the shit out of that. That'd be amazing. I would watch that. Yes, more Food Corner. Okay, yeah. Okay, if you guys want more Food Corner, I will definitely do it. I will definitely do more. I just got to find something unique and interesting to do as an episode. I just don't know what I could try that would be good. Let me look into see what's lately at certain restaurants, and I'll consider it. Because, hey, free meal in the house, too. Plus, I got paid for it. Quentin Tarantino should make a monster movie tribute. Yes. He should. Know what? Fuck. No, Smith, you know what he should do? Because he did distribute it back in the 90s. He should do a remake of Mighty Peking Man or a sequel. That would be amazing. A 40-year-old sequel to Mighty Peking Man. I would go see that. That would be amazing. I sent you a recipe for King Kong cocktail. Okay. I will know what that might be the next one, actually, Gavin. I'll do the King Kong cocktail. I'll definitely check that out. I think that actually sounds kind of interesting. And plus, it's alcohol. I might have to do a disclaimer saying, warning, alcohol is only for 18 and up. Please do not drink and please drink responsibly. Let's see here. Jack, it's not Sega's fault. It's Paramount. Sega thinks the design is very horrifying. Sega is just giving them the rights to making the crate. But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that? I would say, like, give it to, like, who's a company that appreciates Sega? Oh, Universal. Why didn't they do the Sonic movie? It's just my opinion. Maybe try a turkey leg in Disneyland and Disney World. If I ever go back to Disney, which I actually do plan to at some point, I'm going to try a few more food stuff there. There are a couple other things at Universal and stuff I do want to try. Like, I do want to show off the Jurassic Park burger, because I do like those. Or maybe like some of the Raptor Pizza thing. I love that place at Orlando. That'd be great. Let's see. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 4, The Electric Boogaloo. That's the 70s sequel we never got, essentially. Let's see. Have you ever been to Europe? Never. I've never been to Europe in my life. Although right now in the state of Europe, I probably wouldn't, because there's a lot of shit going down. Here are some places actually I have been in the world, Ned. I've been to Florida. I've been to New Orleans. And by the way, New Orleans, guys, party every night. It's insane. Like, there's a whole street. It's nothing but party town every night. You might, like, if you live in New Orleans and you decide to live in New Orleans, you might have an addiction going there every night. It is nuts. It is nuts. Every college kid's there. It's drinks everywhere on the house. Like, there's clubs and shit. It is nuts in New Orleans. It's freaking nuts. Like, I've never seen a party town, so crazy in my life. So I've been to New Orleans. I've been to Orlando. I've been to Fort Lauderdale in Florida. So I usually like to hang at the beaches and stuff, and a little resort thing. There's a medieval Renaissance fair down there, which is pretty kick-ass. Been there. I've been to North Carolina. I've been up in the mountains where my aunt and uncle live. They actually live up in the mountains in this really nice log cabin, which I swear to God, if I want to film something there at some point, because they actually have, it looked like when you go there, it feels like you're walking to Rivendell from Lord of the Rings. So if I ever do something with the elves of Lord of the Rings, I might just travel down to North Carolina and visit my aunt and uncle for a couple days in the mountains and shoot something there, because that would be great to film something there. I've been there. I've been around there. I've been kind of just down. I've been to Kentucky. And honestly, guys, I'm sorry. If I have any fans in Kentucky, I apologize. That state is a swamp. That state is disgusting, Kentucky. I'm sorry. Kentucky is just kind of fucked up. And as an example, you know KFC? Like, everybody loves KFC occasionally, despite it giving you a bad stomach ache. KFC is great. Actual legit Kentucky Fried Chicken, like actual legit Kentucky KFCs, are the most disgusting KFCs I've ever had in my life. How is that possible? I actually felt so sick after eating them. They were terrible. But yeah, I've done that. I've been to Alberta slightly. And the reason I say slightly is because Alberta, I had to just make a transfer to a flight to California, but I did visit the airport. It's very rocky. That's all I can say about Alberta. And speaking of which, yes, I have been to California. I've been to Hollywood. I've been to Hollywood, California. I visited a couple of the studios there. I visited Pixar. I did visit the Walt Disney Studios. I visited Warner Brothers, and I visited Universal, of course. I wanted to check out the Hollywood Park. They had just reopened the back lot, and they had just opened King Kong 360 3D. And honestly, at the time I went to Universal Hollywood. I just got new technology. Seeing the 360 attraction actually really was the spark to doing my own remake, believe it or not. This was back in 2010. We also drove through the edges of the mountain, which was the scariest drive I've ever had, because any moment you could have fallen to your death. But we traveled through there. Actually, funny enough, in the mountains, in the cliffside, you're going through the cliff sides of California, you turn a corner, and in the mountain is a goddamn drive-in in the middle of the forest. What the fuck? That is so crazy. That is so nuts. But I have visited San Francisco. So I did see where they shot Godzilla, which was kind of cool. I did check out San Francisco. I did that. Where else have I visited? Have I been to Texas? I kind of have, actually. I did visit Texas to see where a lot of my dad's family's heritage is. It's pretty hot, pretty crazy down there. I've been to Texas. I actually did visit where my dad served in the Army, his military base. So that was kind of nice to see where a lot of his military base was. I did that. Where else have I visited? I've been to New York, of course. I've been to New York City. I've been in Washington, but I've never been into any of the government capitals or anything, because that day I actually was feeling really sick. And where we were staying at, we were actually staying at a military base. Again, because my dad, Army stuff. But interesting enough, when we were staying at the military base, imagine waking up to the sound of, like, you're in your trailer, you're fast asleep. Imagine waking up at 6 a.m. to the sound of gunfire. And you're just like, holy shit, what's happening? And it turns out they're just doing their drills. They're practicing. They're doing target practice. That's scary that you have to wake up to the sound of gunfire. That's crazy. I haven't been to Colorado. I've been to Chicago. Yes. I went to G-Fest, of course. And I have got the Film Museum there. I've been to Green Bay. I saw the Packers. I used to live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I used to live near Mr. Plunkett. I've done a lot of that. And actually, if it's the only place I've ever been outside of, actually, I have been to Montreal. I went to Montreal for a con, a taco con in Montreal. But the one, so basically the only place I've ever stepped out of North America is actually, I've been to Cancun, Mexico. Cancun, Mexico was actually pretty solid. I mean, yes, its security is crazy as hell. Every other security, like, imagine you're going to somewhere to travel and you have to stop by a border patrol and the guards have fucking Uzis. Jesus Christ. That was crazy. But yeah, Cancun, Mexico, I went to this amazing resort called the Grand Esmeralda Resort. Wonderful resort. If you guys ever go to Cancun, Mexico, or Mexico in general, check that out. It's right near the Mayan pyramids. Actually, we were staying in this, in our hotel suite, but our hotel suite was completely outside material, meaning like there was no doors. So you just, and it's all stone. So you walk out, you can feel the wind and everything. It's great. But yeah, like we checked out the Mayan, like you look out in the distance and there's the Mayan pyramids. In fact, like where we were staying, there are actually a couple of shots in Kong, some establishing jungle shots that were shot in Cancun, Mexico, which is pretty cool because there were a lot of the trees were moving side to side. So I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's Kong, like shaking through the trees. So I used a couple shots in that. What else is cool about Cancun, Mexico? Okay, the resort we're at. Food on the house, like you can eat as much as you want. There's pools everywhere. There's even pools on the beaches, for God's sakes. But all this food you can eat. Tram rides which you can easily hop on and jump on. The food's great. All you can eat ice cream. Like I ate like a motherfucker there. It was crazy. And then I would go swimming and all this stuff. It was great. But the highlight for me, believe it or not, was we were in the market villages and stuff, which was pretty cool. And well, actually, before that, I want to get that before that. We did do kind of like this little kind of exploration thing where I got to ride an ATV and we rode that through like these tracks. So it was just like in the Lost World where they're riding through and because there was all these jungle trees and shit. And I just imagine there were dinosaurs and stuff chasing you. It was like the what do you call it? The roundup sequence in Lost World where they're like driving through the dinosaurs and picking them up. That's what it felt like. And we go exploring through the jungles and we're doing zip lining and all that stuff, climbing trees. It's great. It's like you felt like Tarzan. But the best part was there's this little kind of cracked little rock hole just in the middle of the jungle. And they make sure we don't fall in. Put life jackets on. They tell you, jump in. I'm like, why? And they said, jump in. So I'm brave enough to do it. I jump in. And I go down like almost 30, 40 feet into a pool, a cave underground. And there's a pool of water and this deep caverns and stuff. Really pretty stuff, honestly. Like you feel like you're just exploring these unknown places. You feel like you stepped into a lost world. It's crazy. So that was pretty nuts, doing that. But then the highlight for me, this is a funny story, guys. This is a really funny story. So we traveled to the jungles there, and there's this giant kind of cliffside rock face pool, and below is like this thing's maybe 100 feet down, maybe less, it's like 50 to 100 feet down. But there's a huge pool of water. Everybody jumps off. It's like a high board at a pool, right? You ever been on a high board at a swimming pool where it's like the highest point, it goes to the roof and you jump down? They had those, but it was for this rock face. And most people would do the regular halfway jump. I had the balls to do the highest jump. Now, I have never jumped really high off the ground. Like, I don't think my body could handle it. So what happened to me was I think this jump was about 100, I want to say 100 to 120 feet down. And I did that. I jumped 100 feet down, and I was so scared to do it. I didn't want anybody pushing me. I just wanted to do it my own. So I screamed my bloody head off, like, hi, blah, 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 let's go. And I jumped. You actually can see this shot of me jumping in my Legend of Tarzan review. I do an actual jump there. So I did this jump, this 100-foot jump. And the trick is when you're jumping that height, you got to land on your feet. You got to make sure your body is straight, because you got to land in the water feet first. Now, here's what happened. My body could not sustain itself, because I like to quote Robin Williams on this, where he says there was a guy who jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he survived. And then people asked, like, what was your thought process going down? And the guy said, halfway through, I thought it was a bad idea. That is actually accurate. If you're doing some sort of like stunt jump like that, or skydiving, and you're doing it safely, you're going to realize halfway down you think it's a bad idea. That I will say that. So halfway down, I thought it was a bad idea, and I'm like, I am going to die. I didn't have any flashes before my eyes or anything. I'm just thinking, okay, try to land. You might live. I hope I live. But what happened was, I'm going like my feet first, right? But my body couldn't handle it, and my feet kind of rose, and I landed in the water straight on my ass. It was painful. Number one, painful. But two, it felt like getting like a really bad enema. Google it. But ow. And I literally came out of the water, and everybody was laughing. And here's the part I feel bad for, is that there were children. Like, there were kids there. And all I was saying was, my ass! Like, I was like, you remember that scene in Tropic Thunder? Where fucking there's like that shell shock moment where they like get the grenade, and like what is it? Ben Stiller's like having like like, you know, like in Saving Private Ryan, it's like, you can't hear anything, and then you just cut to Jack Black just going, my ass! That was me the whole time. That was me. I was literally like that, sir. That was like the nerd. My ass, like it. Oh. So note to self, people: if you ever do a jump like that into water, land on your feet, because you're gonna regret it. So that's the story of probably the most embarrassing moment of my life. Probably the bravest goddamn thing I've ever done. But fuck, did that hurt? Essentially. But one of the other highlights, before we get to the last three questions that happened in Mexico, we're in the marketplace, and you know, trinkets, souvenirs, legit tacos, which are delicious in Mexico, by the way. Authentic Mexican tacos, amazing, legit tacos. But here we are, you know, just going through the little marketplace and stuff. Oh, and by the way, like, there's people with like monkeys and snakes and shit around their shoulders, which is pretty neat. I actually got like this cool little kind of foot massage thing. What you do is you put your feet in a tank full of fish, in these little tiny little fish. And what the fish do is they actually massage your feet, and what they do is they actually eat the dead skin off your feet and hands. Try that out. It's actually a pretty cool therapeutic technique. So did that, which was pretty cool. Did that. That was fun. Had tacos. But what was really cool was there was a guy, like, there's people walking around with wild animals and shit. And what happened was, I'm walking around, and all of a sudden, I'm walking by, I feel something nudging on my leg. Like, what the fuck is that? And I look down, and at first, my brain is shitting bricks. But then, I realize it's not dangerous. There's a white tiger cub. I swear, I'm not smoking anything. There is a white tiger cub nudging me like a house cat as I'm just walking through town. And I'm like, holy shit, there's a white tiger cub. Is this happening? And the owner was very nice, and really nice guy. And he's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. He never does this. And I'm like, no, dude, it's cool. Like, this is amazing. So I just kneeled. And here's the thing. I'm brave enough to, like, I've handled wild animals before. Like, I worked with alligators. I've worked with giant snakes and stuff, which is pretty cool. I actually rode a elephant at one point. I've worked with wild animals before. You'd be surprised how friendly they are if you're not pissing them off. So this white tiger cub, I just go down to it, and it's like a goddamn house cat. It's like a dog. And you're just petting it and stuff and giving it all this love. It's freaking adorable. I have a picture of this somewhere. I do want to share it at some point. And I was talking to the guy, and, like, I told him, like, you know, honestly, like, I get it, man. You're trying to make a living. And I know the animals here probably don't really get much, like, don't get really right treatment and stuff. And I just had to be honest with him. I said, hey, before I touch this animal, before I, like, pet this animal, I want to ask, is this animal properly taken care of? Because I'm a huge advocate for this stuff. And I understood where he was coming from, because I said, look, I know these things are really endangered, these white tiger cubs, but you're taking care of this animal. Please tell me you're. And he said, yes, he is completely healthy. He's from a wild sanctuary. We take care of him. So there I am. I spent literally an hour and a half with this white tiger cub, just cherishing every moment. This was the sweetest, like, animal I've ever hung out with. Got to hold it. Now, here's the thing about holding a white tiger cub. Imagine the softest, most adorable, fluffy kitten you can ever imagine. It's like a cat, but it weighs like 50 pounds. This thing was heavy, but he was just a very nice, like, well-treated animal. And I could tell he wasn't starving. He was well-fed. He was well-kept. Didn't seem like came off as an abusive animal or anything. And the thing is, and that's the thing I actually came to appreciate with this guy, like, he obviously takes it out because he says it's just a common thing here. But I could tell in his face, like, I can tell who can lie, and I can tell people who have a heart. This guy had a heart for this animal. So I knew that the tiger cub was in good hands. Because when you go down to countries like that, and they have wild animals that shouldn't be even in that ecosystem in the first place, you do have to question it, and you don't want to do anything about it. But at the same time, if you can tell it's being treated right, you can go and pet it. You can go. Just make sure it looks like it's been treated correctly. Ask questions if you need to. If you see somebody with a wild animal like that, you got to talk to them and just say, hey, this guy's taken care of, right? Like, you're really taking care of this animal. You love and cherish this thing. It's like, yeah. And if they say yes and they look honest and sincere, then it's fine. So, yeah. That was my adventures in Mexico. I basically did some jungle exploring, had this amazing resort, ate a lot, swam a lot, hung out with a tiger cub, and landed on my ass in a giant pool of water. And there's the story there, essentially. So yeah, guys, since we're reaching the hour mark, wow, we're way beyond that. I'm going to answer 3 more questions, and we're going to call it a night. And, of course, if you guys have any other questions, let them know in the comment section below. If you guys would like to support the channel, please do by going to our link down below to Patreon. And also send us fan mail, gifts, and donations at this address, BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0. So, with that said, let's get to the last 3 questions. And we got 10 minutes to go, so let's do this. Let's see. Hey, Jack, Mummy 4 originally was going to be called Rise of the Aztecs and would have had Antonio Banderas as an Aztec mummy. Who would have been in the antagonistic film? Okay, that's cool, but that's not a question. Hey, Jack, before you go, can you make your meme face back in February? Everybody loves this. Okay, I'll just try to recreate this because I actually I did this with a couple of friends and they love it. So I'm just kind of doing my own thing and I'm just like, I want to do this right. Okay. So yeah, like that kind of happened, and I'm not expecting any titties or anything. There you go, Bryce. Funny enough, actually, people told me I have a really good opera voice, even though I can't hold my pitch that long. And when that 5-minute Godzilla preview came on, I know that music was actually Pavarotti. So I've been listening to a lot of him. So I know a lot of the Pavarotti where it's like, you know, I can kind of do opera. Essentially. There's that. So there's that question. If Kong lived in your area, what would you do? Okay, funny story. I'll answer. That's a good question. The thing is, like, I always imagined when I was a kid, when I was living here, that if I ever got to own a lot of this land, because we have a huge property of woods in the backyard, huge couple acres, I would have loved to open some sort of animal sanctuary back there and open like something there, like keep an elephant there or something. Keeping Kong in there would be kind of cool back there, but I don't think there'd be enough space for him. But that would be cool. It'd be like Mighty Joe Young, but like with a 25-foot gorilla instead of like a 15-footer. Let's see here. Okay, so that was two questions. Let's go to one more. Willem Dafoe would be an excellent choice for Joker or Jim Carrey. You know what? Actually, there is one actor, Eduardo, if you want. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, that I would choose for the Joker. If you go watch my casting for the Batman video, I chose one Iwan Rayon to be the Joker. And you guys might know him as Sir Ramsey Bolton in Game of Thrones. He was a fucking asshole. He was a scumbag. He was one of the best villains in the show next to Joffrey. In my opinion, he would be a fantastic Joker. And the reason I say this is, one, I see a lot of Mark Hamill's Joker in there. Two, it's been said that he actually based a lot of his performance on Heath Ledger's Joker. So for me, I would love to see him cast in that role. Okay, and I'm going to answer one more question here, and that's by Bryce. Hey Jack, what's your favorite George Carlin line? There are way too many to count. The one I would choose, and I don't really want to say it because I don't want to come off as like a really offensive or anything, because I know how offensive Carlin is. Go look up his video on Religion is BS. That's my favorite segment from him. Definitely go check that one out. And that's what I'll say, is that is my favorite line that he's done. Hey Jack, for your 5,000 subscriber celebration live stream, which you watching King Lost World 10 times in a row. I don't know, man. I don't know. There is a part of me who wants to go back and review that, by the way. Okay, so that's it, guys. Again, thank you all so much for this live stream. And yeah, the updates are the 100th episode isn't coming this week, but we have something to back it up. It'll be the first reboot of Let's Talk. Hopefully Friday you will see that video. I'm just finishing up tonight. Of course, if you guys have any other questions and comments, let us know in the comments section below. Feel free to share all our content with your friends and family. We are looking to get more attention out there. Definitely go support us on Patreon. Just $1 or more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as a bunch of other extra features. Also, be sure to check out our website. We've had our website for about a year now, BigJackFilms.com. It's not just my content you can see, but check out our channel friends, including the likes of Ryan from Kaiju Network, JT is Reborn, Nick Jackson, Queen 18, and Dr. Terawatt, and Bradley Dunn, Nick Jackson, and like Josh and the 16-bit show, the N64 gamer RiceDuke. So many others are on our website that contribute very much to the channel. And definitely go check them out, because we really appreciate they would really appreciate your content, and go subscribe to them. So, and of course, if you guys want to send us fan mail, donations, and gifts, you can send this to us at this address at BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0, and we'd love to hear from you guys to do a fan mail fanatics. So until the next video, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms, finishing up with the opera with Ninshada! Ninshada!